The floor is yours, Mikel.
Okay, thank you, Isa. Thank you very much for inviting me today. When I was talking to you, Isa, and to Albert, after you updated me on the progress of the project, what I thought is I could speak a little bit about how to bring innovation to the market. I gave the title of From Science to Business in the Field of Energy to my presentation, and the idea is to discuss a little bit on, what are the challenges for those people that may be researchers or scientists and that are interested in bringing their they have an opportunity to bring their research to the market, and they want to do it by becoming entrepreneurs. That is a little bit the topic. Just let me say some words about myself. I'm Mikel Lasa. I'm the CEO of InnoEnergy. InnoEnergy is a knowledge innovation community, and the purpose of what we do is precisely that: support entrepreneurs in the field of energy to be successful in this go-to-market endeavor. Just some words about myself. I was myself a researcher at the beginning of my career. I started my career at the automotive sector first, and then within the energy sector, always quite linked to research, as I was saying. And then later on in my career, I moved to more to business-related activities, and specifically the business I have been involved in during the last 10 years is precisely this, supporting entrepreneurs in their go-to-market through my role within InnoEnergy. Okay, so let me see if this can. Okay, it's moving forward. So I have structured the presentation in two main blocks. The first one is, in the first one, I would like to share a little bit the lessons learned, or some of the lessons learned, and some recommendations I have gathered throughout my experience at InnoEnergy, and then talk a little bit about the support that can be provided through the so-called knowledge innovation communities, that are some kind of ecosystems that are at the disposal of basically European innovators. Okay. Okay, so let me start with this block by saying something that maybe it's pretty obvious for everybody, but I think one of the main things that a researcher, a scientist needs to decide whenever they are facing the question, what to do with my innovation. I think there's an opportunity in the market. It's really to think whether you want to become an entrepreneur or to remain a researcher. And this again may seem very obvious, but out of our experience, it's very important, or we think it's very important, that people devote all their energy, all their time to one or the other. If you really want to excel, if you want to, in the case of becoming an entrepreneur, make a company, build a company that scales up, that attracts investment and these kind of things, then we think that you need to devote your time 100% to that endeavor. It's very, very difficult already, even if you devote all your time. So if you are sharing time, sharing tasks, we think it's an endeavor that is probably very prone not to succeed. And actually, if you guys have been involved in these kind of activities, you probably will know that most of the investors are asking for these kind of things. And probably some of you will say, okay, well, we know many organizations, many research organizations that have like some kind of attached company, or what they call spin-off, but it's really not spin-off because it was never detached from the institute. This probably serves a purpose. I'm not saying it does not, but it's not the kind of business or company that I'm talking about. I'm talking about companies that are really independent, that really scale up, that really attract investment. And for that, if you really want to, again, if you want to go for these kind of things, probably you have to stop being a researcher and you have to become 100%, fully devoted entrepreneur to such purpose. Of course, I mean, either one or the other is very acceptable and it's very good. I mean, you don't need, if you want to bring your innovation to the market, there are other alternatives. You don't have to necessarily become an entrepreneur. You can always transfer your technology, and probably all the most institutes and most universities, they have their technology transfer office, and they can support you. But again, if you want to be an entrepreneur, please consider being an entrepreneur full-time. Second is a little bit provocative statement, is forget about your technology. If you decide to become an entrepreneur, it's not about your technology, it's not about your research, it's not about your product anymore. When you are out there talking to investors, when you are out there talking to partners, to customers, they will not be looking at your technology. They will be looking at your ability to solve the pain that your customers have. You will have to focus on that, on solving the pain, on creating new opportunities for your customers. And your technology may or may not play a role. And probably you will be discovered that your technology, your product, your research is not enough, and that you have to complement it with other things that are as much or even more important than your technology, which was probably what led you to become an entrepreneur and to be exposed to this kind of pains of these problems to be solved. But it's very important to be open-minded, and I'm aware, and I was also like that when I was a researcher. I mean, we are, I would say, sometimes even obsessed about what we do, and it probably has to be so, because otherwise it would be, I mean, if we do not devote time to this kind of tasks in the case of research, we would not be able to push the limits beyond the state of the art. But when you become an entrepreneur and you are trying to build a business based on that, this, I think, is not the main thing anymore. And I think it takes some time to acknowledge that and to recognize that, but I think it's an important step to be made. The fourth recommendation that I would make is learn business and get trained. And when I say learn business, there are, of course, hard skills, but also very important soft skills. And sometimes, I mean, for those of us that come from research, where we have had a very, I would say, hard training, we try to oversimplify this kind of tasks or this kind of skills that are related to business. And what I would like, the message I would like to convey is that those skills are extremely important, and that they require also specific skills, specific expertise that can be trained. And I'm not talking about necessarily, making an MBA, but you know that nowadays there are also many courses, online courses, one-week courses that can support you in this process. They will not make you a businessman from one day to the other, but at least they will make you aware about many things that probably you are not aware of and that are needed to launch a successful business to the market. And sometimes, that just being aware about what you don't know and what you need is already a huge step. So again, I mean, learning and being trained will not make a businessman or businesswoman out of you in one day, but of course it will help. And the good news is that probably you don't need to do it in one day. The good news is that when you are building a business, probably you will have to build a team, because this will be required. I mean, making a business successful is quite a complex endeavor. Again, investors, customers, and so on are trusting people, are trusting teams, are not that much interested in individuals. And the good thing is that when you are building a team, you can complement your probably research technological skills with other skills, with people with other skills that can make your team an A team. And I think you all probably guys know that in this world of business and investment, investors are looking at teams and not technology. They always say they prefer an A team than an A team with a B technology than a B team with an A technology. Okay, so yeah, I would never stop stressing the relevance of a very, very strong team. The sixth recommendation is about attitudes. It's about being open-minded, being flexible, being adaptive, being positive. Why? Because you will probably have to change your initial ideas, your perception about, again, your technology, the way you are going to address your customer pains. And for that, you have to be very open-minded. You have to listen again to your customers, to what others say, be flexible, change your plans, adapt, and always have a very positive attitude. Because there will be days that are where things are going very well and you will be very, very happy and very excited about things, but probably, believe me, there will be also some days that everything will be rather the opposite. And being able to keep that positive attitude, looking at the long term, is extremely important for yourself and also for the people that will be around you. And again, it's about building trust with others, attracting talent, attracting people that are committed and that are excited about your projects. And number 7, and I would like to finalize with this, is the network. I mean, all that I have said before is extremely important. And in order to make it happen, it's very important to be involved in, I would say, in an ecosystem, in a community, in a network that facilitates all this, that puts you in contact with people, where you can discuss, where you can learn from others, where you can exchange. So if possible, try to find a network, an ecosystem that is related, connected to the type of business that you are trying to develop. And as you can see, I mean, everything that I'm talking about is related to people. At the end, it's all about people. I started a little bit about the individual, and then I talked about the team and the network. And I mean, all this is, again, I think extremely important if you want to be successful with this endeavor of creating a new business. So how to find, I mean, all this network that facilitates this, I mean, all these things, as I'm talking about. Well, there are many networks, there are many communities, and probably because you are also, of course, within your research and your technical developments and so on, you are already connected to many of them. That is great, and that could be a very important point. I would also like to let you know that there are some so-called knowledge innovation communities that are communities that were launched, that were created precisely with this purpose of supporting entrepreneurs in general, and also very specifically researchers and innovators that wanted to bring their technology, their knowledge to the market. So these are the, as I said before, the knowledge innovation communities that are promoted and were launched by the EIT. EIT is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which is an agency from the European Union, and that was created, I mean, to promote precisely the innovation and entrepreneurship around different fields, different topics that were identified as key topics for the future of Europe. So key strategic topics for Europe. One of them is climate, everything related with climate change. Another of these topics is digital. We have also food, health, energy, manufacturing, raw materials, and urban mobility. And probably in the future, there will be others. So those, again, those are communities that are structured and organized around these verticals, these key topics for Europe. These organizations, these communities are structured around different regional offices, different hubs that are in Europe, and you can see, I mean, the head offices in the different countries related to the different communities. So, I mean, at some point of time, if you are interested to engage with them, you can find where they are located, and you can contact them. All these communities, all these ecosystems work in a similar way. Of course, they have their specificities, but they work in a similar way in the sense that they work around the so-called knowledge triangle. The knowledge triangle is something that is based on basically 3 pillars: business, education, and research. And the model is about bringing together all these 3 pillars to create talent, to create new innovative products and services, and to create new businesses. So startups, spin-offs, and so on. All that with the purpose, of course, to creating wealth in Europe, so meaning growth, jobs, and new innovation capabilities. Let me now talk a little bit about specifically one of those communities, which is the InnoEnergy community, the one related to energy, and the one where I work. InnoEnergy was created like 10 years ago. And in those 10 years, I think we have succeeded to become the largest innovation ecosystem and accelerator for sustainable energy in Europe. So we have 400 partners. We are present in more than 24 countries in Europe, and also very recently we have opened a new office in Boston, in the US. We offer a complete package of solutions to support innovation at every stage of the journey. So we try to be with the entrepreneur for quite a long time, supporting them with different needs. And we are, just to get a rough idea, we're investing around 100 million euros per year in people and innovative businesses. Out of them, I would say 80% more or less are coming from the European Commission through the Institute of Innovation, European Institute of Innovation and Technology, through the EIT, and 20% are own resources that stem at origin from investments that we have performed in the past. So we are a public-private partnership. We have 23 shareholders, which are the founders and current shareholders that you can see on the map. And we are structured around 6 regional offices located in Iberia, in France, in Benelux, another one in Germany that is covering Germany and German-speaking countries, so including Switzerland and Austria, another one in Sweden from the Scandinavian region, and last but not least, another one in Poland, which is covers Central and Eastern Europe. In this ecosystem, I mean, you can find many different stakeholders that are part of this community and that share the vision to support and to promote innovation and entrepreneurship in the field of energy. And these organizations, I think, can be grouped, I think, in 4 types of clusters. One is large organizations, large companies in the energy sector. Second would be research organizations, RTOs. Third would be universities and business schools. And the fourth one would be, of course, the startups and the new businesses that are created, and out of which we have like 250 more or less nowadays in our portfolio. So what we do is basically, can be grouped around 3 main areas. First of them is investing in talent to create the future leaders and entrepreneurs related to the energy sector in Europe. So that's somehow creating the base. I think I said at the beginning, this is about people, about talent, and this is extremely important for us. And the other two blocks are more related to the business part. A first block related to early stage support to startups that are being created, and the second one more related to upscaling and growth of these startup companies. So our activities in the field of energy are grouped around the thematic fields you can see here. So basically, we are talking about energy for transport and mobility, energy storage, energy efficiency, energy for circular economy, renewables, smart and efficient buildings and cities, and smart electric grids. Our value proposition and our message for innovators and entrepreneurs is that we in InnoEnergy are a trusted partner and smart investor to make your company a global success. So we are basically an industry partner. That is, industry partner in the sense that we are a company ourselves, and we are connected to other industries. We offer a long-term relationship, so it's not something that we are doing now for 6 months and we forget about you, but we are investing in startups and becoming shareholders and sharing a long-term journey. We aim to create global impact, and we like to share risk with the innovators, and we do this through our business model, which is based on an investment and becoming shareholders, or a revenue share model where we get some kind of revenue in case the innovator, the entrepreneur, is successful in the market by selling their products. If they don't sell their products, then we don't get any revenue, and that's how it works. And yeah, all in all, I think we like to say that we are a trusted ecosystem in the sense that we create a level playing field where all players play with the same rules of the game, no matter if they are big or small. It's the same rules of the game for everybody, and these rules of the game are respected. Okay, I will not bore you with this one, but just for you to get an idea or an impression of the fact that we have different programs, different instruments to support the journey of the innovators at every stage, starting from awareness, talent attraction, ideation, acceleration, and growth. The type of services that we provide to entrepreneurs, I think, can be grouped around these 7 blocks here. So basically, management support, access to European business network, and for that we have people in different countries that are facilitating business development, opening doors to entrepreneurs with potential customers, access to finance through a venture capital community and local business angel networks, access to talent, intellectual property, EU policy. We have an office in Brussels that is facilitating also access to policymakers and some EU programs to get additional funding and getting partnerships with other European organizations that can be relevant for the business. And finally, the US landing program for those those companies, those businesses that are already mature enough to make the jump to the other side of the Atlantic. So in those 10 years, I think we have built a machine that is working pretty well. We have a proven track record, and you have some figures here. I will not go into the details. And just to finalize, well, let me say that there are probably many networks, many communities, many accelerators out there. I think many of them are doing a great job, and I think you should explore them. What it is different, or what is our main features within InnoEnergy is, I think I would summarize that in 3 three main features. First of them is, okay, we are focused on energy. We are experts on energy. We have an ecosystem where I think we have some of the main stakeholders in the field of energy in Europe. Second one is that we have an European dimension. So even if you as an entrepreneur or as a business, you enter our network in one of the countries, and probably at the early stages, you are connected with a more local ecosystem. I mean, our ecosystem, our community has an European dimension, and we have the tools and the services to scale or support your business to scale in this European dimension. And the third one, I think, is also quite important. We work with a holistic approach in the sense that we analyze business opportunities. I mean, considering all these aspects that you see here, and we also try to support business opportunities considering these aspects here, these dimensions. So, and again, we are talking about technology. I mean, I said at the beginning, forget about the technology. Of course, technology is important, but it's not the only thing. As I said before, it's also about people, about human capital. It's about regulation. It's about the market, business models, industrial supply chain, and in some cases even about society and individual. And it's all these dimensions that we try to support with. So just to wrap up, yeah, let me again say, if you are interested in bringing or creating a new business and bringing it to the market, again, my recommendation would be to engage with, I mean, to look for support, to engage with networks, with accelerators. It can be, of course, those that are related to the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, so knowledge innovation communities. You've seen that there are many two different topics. I guess today we are talking energy, but probably some of you are also related to other activities. And yeah, if you are interested in the energy field, so feel contact us at InnoEnergy. I would be also happy to. I mean, if you are located in Spain or Portugal, I will be probably one of the contact points. And if you are located somewhere else, I will be also happy to put you in contact with one of our other regional offices that provide this kind of support. So yeah, thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Mikel. So there is just a comment in the chat, like if you will be making available this presentation, if you don't have any problem with sharing it, then
no, of course
we will
not.
share.
Sure.
We will share with everyone.
Sure.
And so I don't know if there's a time for a brief question. So someone would like to make any comment?
I could ask a question.
Sure.
It's Elias.
Go ahead.
Mikel, it was a very nice talk. I just have one example in my mind, and I would like to communicate that to you and get your experience, how you would deal with that. Okay. So we worked with the university in Valencia in one of the case studies, and we did seasonal forecasting to make an improvement in seasonal hydrological forecasting, and we achieved that. But when it came to economic evaluation for the hydropower sector, we did not see much of an added value. But we saw an added value for agriculture. And I was wondering, if we were entrepreneurs, how could we kind of like convince the customers in the hydropower sector to take an evolved service that doesn't give them much, but it does give to like some benefits to other players.
If I understand right, this service to the agriculture stakeholders could be through those that are managing the hydrological the dams and so on, right?
Exactly.
And would there be like a business opportunity for them?
I mean, it's definitely. I'm not sure. I mean, I was thinking that maybe the hydropower customers would be. I mean, they would have to pay extra for this service, but they would get the legacy that they contribute also to another sector. But this is only a legacy for them. There is no profit. So could have been business out of that.
Well, I mean, it depends very much on the stakeholder, but well, yeah, probably. I mean, it depends very much on the type of organization you are talking about. But yeah, our experience is sometimes legacy sometimes is not enough, and you have to look for something that is also more appealing to them that just legacy. Again, I mean, I don't want to generalize because there are different types of organizations, and of course there are some of them that are interested in these kind of things. But yeah, it depends. I would say it depends very much on the motivation of this kind of organization is. And if you are talking, if it is like a company or something like that, yeah, probably legacy will not be enough, and you have to look for. But maybe there are other business models that can be thought of, and that could bring some business benefit for this, this hydropower. But I'm afraid I'm making very like generic statements without knowing too much about the case. What we could do is, Elias, if you want, we can, I mean, offline, if you want to send some information, and we can have like a short discussion on that and see what we can think of.
Great, thanks. I will do that. Thanks a lot, and great talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.